It's official, solar is the cheapest electricity in history. Cheapest is still the electricity you steal from Ned Flanders. Praise the sun. ///t // Check out the IEA report's executive summary, https://web store. IEA.org/download/summary/4153, for more depth. Some highlights, emphasis mine. Asterisk in one scenario, renewables meet 80% of the growth in global electricity demand to 2030. Note this is growth, not total production. Asterisk coal demand does not return to pre-crisis levels / and its share in the 2040 energy mix falls below 20% for the first time since the Industrial Revolution. Asterisk in the absence of a larger shift in policies, it is still too early to foresee a rapid decline in oil demand. Asterisk natural gas fares better than other fossil fuels, but different policy contexts produce strong variations. Asterisk as things stand, the world is not set for a decisive downward turn in emissions. Asterisk getting to net zero will require unwavering efforts from all. Despite the popular mechanics headline, the actual IEA report expects fossil fuels to stay around for a while. It's up to us to create the policy changes that allow renewables to compete. r/climate offensive and r/citizens climate lobby are good places to start. Nothing some fossil fuel subsides can't fix. Well, sure, until the sun runs out. Meanwhile, Mexican president says we need more coal. Highly misleading to the point of factual error. They not only omit the cost of subsidies to taxpayers, but actually assume future legislation making it magically cheaper in order to arrive at this result. Any true measure would count the cost ignoring subsidies, and by that measure nuclear is cheapest, followed by hydroelectric as the second cheapest cost per kilowatt hour. When it comes to pollution, hydro is the cleanest, ignoring flooded land mass, and nuclear is second. When it comes to durability, nuclear and hydro require fewer man-hours per kilowatt hour for maintenance than solar, and kill drastically less wildlife than wind. The only green tech that's been found commercially viable on a large scale and will be available during peak demand is biofuel, which literally means burning the forests. Solar is the cheapest electricity in history. At noon. They always leave that part out. We need power 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Do the cost analysis on 24/365 solar vs 24/365 nuclear and it's clear that solar is very expensive. A cost-optimal wind-solar mix with storage reaches cost competitiveness with a nuclear fission plant providing baseload electricity at a cost of $0.075 kWh at an energy storage capacity cost of $10-20 kWh. https://www.vox.com/energyandenvironment/2019/8/9/20767886/ renewable energy storage cost electricity. Right now we're at like $1.20 kWh. We need to be at $10 to $20. That's a 90% reduction. That's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be too late to stay below 2C by the time that happens. But there are other forms of storage. Yeah, and no one is building them either because it's still way more expensive than fossil fuels and nuclear. But look at the grid battery in Australia. That's to replace peaker plants, not core grid power. Battery storage is only going online to replace peakers and do trading between low and high cost time periods, both of which lose value as more batteries come online. No one, and I mean no one, is doing actual grid scale, overnight, storage. Because guess what, solar plus batteries is fucking expensive. It's not the cheapest form of power. Not by a long shot. How do you store it to make it net plus is the only lurking counter-argument. I read this study a few weeks ago. Here's where it's being very deceptive. Asterisk prices are calculated without the system cost being added in. Solar requires a much more expensive infrastructure to step it up to a usable voltage and store it, since it's not a constant flow. Asterisk prices are calculated after government subsidies in the countries that give the largest subsidies to solar. Asterisk prices are pulled from countries with the most ideal weather conditions for solar energy. Solar is a great source of electricity, but as technology currently stands, it could not hold a candle to nuclear, which is the cleanest form of non-renewable energy. And we are not expecting to run out of uranium anytime soon. In terms of renewable energy, hydroelectricity still powers the entirety of Las Vegas and leaves them with power to sell to neighboring states. Please click on the actual article. The title is very misleading, bordering on just factually incorrect for how much of a stretch it is to make this as a blanket claim. But I paid extra for my Kentucky coal license plate. Coal keeps the lights on. /S. I just met with an agent today to set up solar on my house. There's a program going on right now that is subsidizing solar. We're going to get panels put on our house for free. It's going to drop our yearly electricity expense by around 30% or more, and they're actually going to give us a $1,500 check at the start just for doing it. It's an absolute godsend, and if we refer people we get an additional $1,500, and they get $1,500 too. PM me if you live in CT, DA, MA, MD, New Jersey, New York, PA, or RI. Would be great to earn some fast money given how difficult this year has been. It's literally a win for everyone involved, especially the environment. It doesn't comment on the true cost of materials, though. I am by all definitions a barefoot, tree-hugging hippie, but I am beginning to have a huge problem with solar. I only very recently found out that there are a whole lot of mines being proposed and already happening in the Northwest, namely, Alaska. Bristol Bay is the most infamously opposed one. I too have been opposed since I heard about it, imagining it was for something like oil, natural gas, or gold/ore. It is not. It is for material with which to build solar panels. I am truly at a crossroads. Green energy is beautiful and of the future, certainly. But this first clunky stage could turn out to be incredibly harmful. Oil and fracking are obviously and undisputedly antiquated and downright irresponsible to continue. I genuinely feel like we need to be leaning more heavily into nuclear at this point. There is a risk, of course, but to uproot a vast expanse of absolutely irreplaceable land, kill out entire ecosystems of unique species from fish and frogs to whales and bears, and create literally tons and tons of non-biodegradable trash. Gah! How does one choose? Anyway, my personal solution is to try my best to not fall for the buy stuff, purchase things mantra that society has put in our head, and to limit my energy consumption as well as my waste production. Low waste, plant-based diet, composting, and repurposing the things I already have been keys. Shout out to those developing solar cells, and the NREL. Praise the sun. Damn straight it is, and I'm in charge. This whole operation depends on me. No me, no power. Got the whole country suckling my teats, and it feels so good. And what do? Fuck, man. Everything. I push buttons. I turn dials. I read numbers. Sometimes I make up little stories in my head about what the numbers mean. You know how I got this job? They were going door to door asking if anyone knew any scientists. I said look no further. They asked me how well I understood theoretical physics. I said I had a theoretical degree in physics. They said welcome aboard. But am I a fraud? No, man. I know exactly what I'm doing. I just don't know what effect it's going to have. Over there controls power in this building. That station has readouts on the computer network. That big knob there makes a crazy noise. Sparks come out of that slot if you put stuff in it, and I'm learning more every day. But the problem is these mirrors aren't aimed right, so we're running at 1% efficiency. And I guess that just isn't good enough for some assholes. Sometimes titles are clickbait, Sometimes they stretch the truth. In this case, it's an outright lie. If you read the article, it isn't the cheapest energy source per megawatt, it's the cheapest to build per megawatt and only in the perfect condition climates. Then you read even deeper from the IEA source that this article references, you find out it's not even the cheapest to build per megawatt. It's some nonsense about ease of getting financing. Which is important, but does not equals cost. If you are serious about climate change, nuclear power generation is the clear answer. It can fully take on the power generation load handled by coal today and has no effect on the Earth's atmosphere.